Hey Jeremiah, you guys are returning just a ton of talent on the defensive side of the ball. I know you lost Chaz, obviously, which you'll have to replace, but besides that, just a ton of talent coming back. I know you're early into spring practice right now, but what are your thoughts on just how good this defense can be and just the levels that you think you guys can reach this season? Like I said, just with all the experience you guys have coming back.
I think we're just taking a step up really at every position from the secondary because all the guys are coming back. Trey Morrison's coming back. Don, I mean, they've had 2 years of start. I mean, we can go out there and pretty much run the defense by ourselves. But the thing that I've noticed from the first 2 days of spring practice are the freshman D linemen, just how they understand if they're a 4-eye, if they're a 5 technique to stay inside. That really impressed me. They're in the film room every other day. They're talking to me, talking to other D line, trying to get in the film room. So the biggest jump for me, I think, is the D line and how we're going to be able to substitute this year. Because I think last year, I think we got a little tired in the later games because we weren't able to substitute in the D line like we can now because we get depth.
Okay, back over to CL Brown.
Hey, Jeremiah, I was curious what your early impressions of Tony Grimes was when he got to campus, given that he reclassified and everything. How much further ahead did he seem, from a typical freshman? I mean, even making a comparison from your freshman year when you first got.
I mean, when Tony got here, I mean, you could tell he was a 17, 18-year-old kid who looks like he's still supposed to be in high school, and you could tell. I mean, he was out there. He's slow in his steps, slow in his reads when he came in. But as the season went on, like you just saw the progression in practice. You saw that there's a lot of talent there. And as the season went on, I think he just gradually got better and better and better each week. And I think that's when the coaches, once he got comfortable with the defense, the coaches were really comfortable putting him out there in the game.
All right, let's go back over to Andrew Jones.
Hey, Jeremiah, what is the difference right now when you look at Eugene Asante, the way he approaches everything, the way he is on the practice field, as opposed to before the Orange Bowl? Sort of the difference in him because he's got that experience and actually played well that night against A&M.
Yeah, I think the biggest difference is just that we were in season and we're not in season now. He was really going hard on just the game plan. I mean, we had 2 to 3 weeks to game plan for Texas A&M, so he was really just going hard on the game plan that we have for Texas A&M. Talking with him now and meeting with Eugene now, like we're diving deeper in depth into our playbook. And Bateman's changed up a couple things in the playbook, so we're going around, we're checking with that, and yeah, I think that's probably the biggest jump for Eugene. I mean, he's done a great job. He's from when we played in January to now. It's just learning the playbook and learning those new formations and calls that we have with JB.
Do you see him carrying himself as one of the guys now, maybe a little bit more than he did before?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's not even that he's carrying himself. Like, I think the guys on the team now just understand. I mean, it wasn't from just playing the Texas A&M game. Eugene started on all 4 special teams for us. It was a war daddy on special teams. He showed up every single week on special teams. So the team was comfortable. They were confident. They knew he was going to play his role and be in the spot. And I think he just took the extra step by stepping into the role.
Cool. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Okay, back over to Dina King.
Hey, Jeremiah, what's your early impressions on Power Eccles and Ra Dilworth?
Speed. I feel like we're probably the fastest linebacker core in the country, especially with those 2 additions to the linebacker core. Yeah, they have great speed, great tracking angles, and they're highly intelligent. I think that's what Bateman's looking for, and Coach Day are looking for when they're recruiting these linebackers. They're looking for guys who are highly intelligent, who can learn really complex playbook, but also can run 4.5, 4.4.
Thank you.
Okay, Ross Martin, go ahead.
Hey, Jeremiah, I think a big thing with the defense has been the development of growth, and I think this season may be a little bit closer to where you want to be. Can you speak to the growth at each position and where you think it is right now and where you think it can get to by the time the season starts on defense?
I just think that we're going to be able to roll 1 and 2s a lot more than we did last year. I mean, at backer, I mean, if Eugene and I need a break, we feel comfortable with Sed or Kadri going in to roll. And same with the secondary and same with the D-line. I feel like that was a thing that we really couldn't do last year because, I mean, we had a couple injuries, and also we weren't too deep on the defensive line. And like I said before, I feel like in a couple games, like late in the game, I feel like our D linemen played a little bit too many snaps. And I think this year with Ritzy coming in, Kendrick Bingley coming back healthy from his torn Achilles last year, Keyshawn, Ritzy, all the guys coming in, Ruck, along with Tamon coming back, and Hop. I mean, we're really deep on the defensive line, and I think it's a really good problem to have because we didn't have that last year.
Okay, Greg Barnes, go ahead.
Hey, Jeremiah. Mac told us the other day that the coaching staff's messaging to the team really hasn't changed since he arrived, but that the players are kind of understanding it better, and therefore they're taking a practice where you're just in shorts a lot more seriously. Can you speak to that in terms of your experience over the last couple of years, kind of seeing that growth in terms of player mindset?
I think it was just first being here with Mac and seeing how practice was going to be, like the first year he was here. And I think all the guys that have been here since Mac have been, since he's came in, I mean, me, Trey, Tamon, Sam, I mean, Chaffrey Brown, the guys know how to practice. So it's, I mean, Mac preaches it, but the players also preach it too. Like before I come out in the field, like I'm telling Raw and Power, like even if we're on 7-on-7, the ball's thrown on outside the numbers on the other side of the hash, like don't sit there standing, like run to the ball, get a burst out to the ball. And we've shown that on film for the first 2 days. I mean, especially the first days of spring, nobody should be jogging around the first 2 days of spring. You should be excited. You should be moving around and have a lot of juice. And that's what we've been seeing.
Thank you.
All right, last one for Jeremiah from Chapel Fowler.
Hey, Jeremiah. Bateman has mentioned Desmond Evans as another sophomore that could be kind of primed for a bit of a step up, a breakout. But what have you see from him growth-wise, and where do you think he fits into the defense next fall?
I think just learning the playbook for him, because playing the outside linebacker position, I mean, they're not rushing off the edge every time. They got to drop in coverage. Sometimes they have to low hole drop. Sometimes they have to be the flat hole dropper. And I think the biggest step for him was just learning the playbook more. I think he's going to be able to play a lot faster because he knows where to go. He knows where he needs to be. I think that was the biggest step for Des. And I mean, yeah, that's another long body guy that we have outside and rush. He's going to be able to constrict gaps and make them smaller. And I expect a huge season out of him.